Okay, welcome to SeerNova Podcast. It's been a while. This is episode 93, so let's get started.
Here.
What up?
Pretty fancy. So today we have Todd Mulrooney back. He was on episode 5, which was try to sell a vegan cheeseburger, something like that, hamburger.
Sell a cheeseburger to a vegan on cheat day.
We'll come up with some crazy title. This one. Today we're going to be talking about NFTs. We've never talked about it on our podcast. If you want to learn more about that, you'll be able to because we have someone that knows things about that.
And obviously the relevancy for your audience is a lot of them are creators.
Yeah.
So it can be something they do on the side, make money, to help out and stuff like that. You know, because a lot of these things, like doing a Kickstarter or whatever, it takes a while for the money to start moving.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of the work, the heavy load of creating it, doing this type of thing to get it out there. And so you're not making any money doing that. It's hard.
Yeah. Most people are like, I'm going to make money off my first comic, and that doesn't happen. It's actually, I've heard it's usually like the 5th comic you usually see a profit because you can sell the other ones like on Kickstarter or whatever. You can sell them as add-ons or whatever. And you have like either a whole series or you'll have a bunch of different comics that you could sell at a con or wherever. But while you're building up to that, you can actually do NFTs and figure all that out.
Yeah, and to simplify things, especially for like artists and stuff, an NFT is an item that you digitally mint to a blockchain. It can be like, I'm having success on Crow, or on the crypto.com, which is the Crow blockchain. I don't have a lot of success elsewhere other than FTX, and I'm not even sure. Oh, Solana blockchain. So this is what, where it goes. You mint it there. Now it's there. You're the issuer. The issuer is the first owner, and you put it up for sale, and then that person becomes the next owner, and they're there for perpetuity. Nobody said, hey, when you die, you got to fill this out, because I haven't heard that yet. So they're there forever, and some of these sites have a built-in royalty. Marketplaces, I should call them marketplaces, like crypto.com, OpenSea, Mintable, Rarible. Those are marketplaces where you go and you buy NFTs. Sometimes you can buy them for, using your credit cards. So you're buying them with USD, or sometimes you're buying them with like if they're on the Ethereum blockchain, you're buying them with Ethereum related coins, because now there's more than one, right? There's Polygon, and there's other types of coins, and eventually I think some of them you'll be able to buy those NFTs with those other things like oracles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you mint on a blockchain. Think of that as sort of the internet in a way, and you mint it. You're the first owner. You sell it. Now you don't own it anymore. Now that's a transaction, and that transaction, what's mint, it ends up part of that minted item. So it's what's called, you can search. You can search that. Like, it went from me to you, and so on and so on. And I make art, and I make digital art, and I make these things called crypto orbs, and I can show you some of those things. Those are what I make for NFTs. NFTs can be a lot of things. They could be music. They could be a clip. They could be music and an animation. So it's a broad spectrum of anything you could create, and that blockchain will allow you to mint to. Not every blockchain is quite ready for everything. But MP4s and stuff like that, they're there. I believe there's one. I should have brought that information with you, but there is a way to buy a comic. So you buy this token, right? You buy this token from this group of people. They have their own blockchain that they've created on top of. It's probably Ethereum or whatever, and they've minted a comic, and you buy the token. The token gets you access to the comic, and they've made ridiculous amounts of money. They have a universe full of characters. It's called Meta Universe, I think.
Metaverse, yeah.
Metaverse,
That's going to
yeah.
be like what I guess Web 3.0 is going to be.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the entire world digitized kind of thing.
But there was a thing that my girlfriend's dad talked about a while ago when I mentioned that. He's like, they already tried to do that, and it was called Second Sight. If you watch The Office, Dwight Schrute actually plays that in The Office for like an episode. He's playing himself, but he can fly around and do stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you up front, as far as if you want to talk metaverse stuff like that, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to put goggles on, and I'm certainly not going to buy metaverse products that don't come with a physical item. Right? I'm not going to buy Nikes in the metaverse so that my avatar can wear them if I can't wear them.
Yeah,
because to me that's like we're at the beginning of that, right? And so, like I said earlier in the pre-show, that's the Atari, where I can play with Pac-Man. Who I want to play with is Laura Croft, stuff like that. So I think about it that way. Like, how much time did I spend playing any? Because I'm 50. How much time did I spend playing any of those games? But how much time did I start playing Soul Reaver and Laura Croft's Adventures and things like that? So I'm willing to wait. But I probably will never be that guy who does that anyway. And maybe there'll be something different. I've seen a pair of glasses developed by Apple that are just out of this world. So maybe it won't be big goggles that you wear on your head, and maybe it'll be different.
It could be like the Tony Stark ones.
I still think like they won't really get fully adopted until you can they're either like simple glasses or like contact lenses. I know Sony patented about I don't know maybe 4 years ago, like they patented contact lenses that would give you like a heads up display. So
I did see glasses that Facebook is like kind of partnered with Ray-Ban, and I saw it as like an ad. Now I'm going to see all those ads now on Instagram.
To me, when you use that word ad, right, that triggers me to think about what I think the current metaverses really are. Granted, there'll be games that you can play, and you can make these virtual houses, and you can put up NFTs that you've bought and stuff like that. None of it's easy, by the way. But it's stuff that you can do currently. But to me, walking around in it, what I've seen of footage and video, and you go on Instagram and it says swipe, and it'll show you. It's a big ad. It's ad. They're advertising you. So I'm not,
they're probably going to do like that freemium style where it's like they're, you could enjoy the metaverse, but everything will be covered in ads until you pay for this premium subscription. And in the future, they'll probably have you literally doing work inside the metaverse in order to pay that subscription. That's kind of like the goal. Put you in the Matrix pods.
Right. And that's definitely not going to be. But that is off course, right? That's not really what NFTs are.
Yeah.
Although it's part of it because you can hang your NFTs up in a virtual gallery or whatever.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of attaching it to physical things. Like if because I don't remember the shoe brand that Nike bought. That's the whole NFT metaverse brand. But like that, the idea of having those shoes then replicated in reality so you could wear them would be amazing. And like, there's plenty of other NFTs now that instead of giving you like a physical item, they're giving you a physical experience. So like you can buy this artwork, but then you get access to these events, right? And I think that's another great thing.
That's a good utility. You're right. That's a good utility. And unfortunately, my NFTs only come with one utility, and that's only on certain marketplaces, and that's giving you a discount. Like if it's like I've created these crypto orbs, and I've also made PNGs of them, and I've put them on merchandise. And so you buy the Crypto Orb NFT, you get a huge discount on the shirt at my Shopify store. It's the only utility I have so far because I'm a one-man show. I'm not a team. I don't have any developers, and I don't know that I'd ever have the time left in my life to learn all this stuff. Cryptography and stuff like that. Just I don't have that time left.
I think like the simplest thing you could probably add to it, like if you're just an individual creator, is like the ability if they brought it to like a convention you're at, like they get something free, like stickers or like a discount on the comics, something like that. Like, it's almost like a universal, hall pass to get wherever you are, that kind of thing.
That is a very good point. That is a very good idea too, because I didn't think of that. Right now we're still in this state of I don't leave unless I have to. And that's unfortunate because I was just starting to get into the swing of doing conventions again. I had done some in my teens, trying to get the work. I talked about that on your show, and then I didn't do that anymore. And then I had a job that was similar. I was very creative at it. It was very similar, and so I was really not in comics anymore. So being part of comics in the last 8-9 years, I started doing it again. I did like 3 of them, only as a walk around and one as a sort of a guest. So yeah, that if that stuff comes back, that's a good idea, because I don't, it's all about the customer, right? I mean, without the customer, you're nothing. And NFTs are hard. And if you go browsing around and looking, you'll see what? A lot of monkeys and a lot of derivatives and a lot of stolen art, monkeys, and a lot of other stolen art. I've seen plenty of it,
Yeah, honestly, I think the best thing that like at least indie comic creators can use NFTs for is like connecting with your comics, obviously, so that you can sell things like character art. But like I wouldn't even because all the other big ones like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, things like that.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna have knockoffs and all these other things. What I think the benefit to like individual creators is there's people who would love to learn about NFTs, but it's like I'm not spending 3 Ethereum on a single piece of artwork that I don't even know what it gets me. But I would be willing to spend a small amount with an individual creator. Maybe I get a comic for it the first time I purchase it and discount on future comics. Maybe I get discounts at conventions or merchandise, things like that when I go to see them in the future. And I get to learn a little bit about NFTs while doing it because like there's plenty of people who are interested in it, but they're not going to like get into it because all the NFTs right now that people are bragging about are these multi Ethereum, tens of thousands of dollars for a single piece of artwork.
Me personally, I've had success, like I said, on Crypto.com, which is a USD based. You buy it with your credit card. Sorry, I heard something in the background. So you buy it with your credit card, right?
What's the name of the site?
Crypto.com, and I'll show you some of my NFTs.
Is it Crypto.com or Crypto.org?
Crypto.com.
Crypto.com.
And I've had success there, and also FTX. I sold a few, but I have a lot of NFTs up on OpenSea and Rarible. I don't know if they don't sell because I don't have any Ethereum in my wallet. I don't know. I put them up for USD. I put them up for all kinds of different things, gaslessly. I try to make everything I do gasless, right? On the OpenSea, once I figured things out, because I was new, it was a new experience, and I didn't know what I was doing. But once I figured things out, I started minting in Polygon right off the bat, like right after jump. So, I don't want anyone who wants my artwork to help me make a living, to help someone they don't know make $80 that they have no idea where it's going. And
I
gas.
was gonna say, for like those who don't understand, like gas is literally like the cost of exchange of currencies, and a lot of the larger blockchains right now, like it costs a lot of money to just transfer between 2 individuals, and so essentially, Polygon, like Cardano, those are what's the word? They're like a derivative that works off of these blockchains, doing minor transactions as opposed to large transactions for the most part. without costing as much fuel.
So 90% of the money I've made off NFTs has been crypto.com. It's all
Very
USD.
cool.
I can trade. It's all quick. The person buys it, the money's there. I can deposit every 24 hours, whatever amounts there. So if I sell 10 while I'm sleeping, I wake up.
Cool.
If it's been 24 hours since I last deposited, it goes right into a crypto.com credit card that I have that's connected to my bank and yada yada. So I'm paying bills with it. I'm selling my NFTs to customers that I appreciate. If you follow me on Twitter at Meta NFTs one, you'll see that I post, because I have a couple collections that benefit the Rainforest Alliance and World Wildlife Fund, and another charity. I did a charity NFT that didn't sell, and it's still sitting there, but it was for autism, and it was 100% going to go to Next for Autism, but it didn't sell, and I've lowered it and lowered it and lowered it, but my heart was in the right place because this is Mark Rober. We all know. I'm sure.
Mark Rober. Oh, he's awesome. He's the he's the one that makes like the
Squirrel
the
Gum.
he made the glitter bomb. He made the snowball machine out of like a leaf blower. He made the quicksand or the sand pit. Yeah, I love that guy. He's awesome.
My daughter introduced me to his videos.
He's incredible. He was a former NASA scientist who helped put Curiosity on Mars, and now he just makes awesome science projects with his little nephews.
Calls himself a creative engineer now.
Yeah.
So she hooked me onto him, and then I don't know, 6 months ago he did a video about his son, who nobody knew, because he shows his nephews and niece all the time, but nobody knew that his son was autistic. And then there was a link to a charity, and so I looked into the charity and I said, I want to do an NFT. So I drew Mark and his son. His son likes to dress up as a superhero and deliver these papers that are filled with crayon. So it'll be mixtures like green and brown and yellow, and it'll cover the whole paper. Really, really cool thing. So I made an NFT and I put it up, and then I made a collection where I could house it that says all of this will go towards this charity. But I'm going to do more, but I think I need a bigger name and a bigger community. Like last night, I just finished the best NFT I've ever created. Full digital paint. I'll let me get it as I'm talking. So I just finished it and I put it up, and it's in a collection called One-Off. Like, I'm not minting 10 because that's what I'm able to do. This is limited edition one-offs, and I just finished this last night, so let me grab it, and I'll share with you guys. Share screen. Brave tab. Okay. So if you can see that, can you see that?
It's loading. Oh, yeah.
I just finished that. Yet I tweaked this and played around with it for a month, because I had done this other NFT. It was a sloth, and I was not happy with the fur. And so I was like, my skills need to get better, and I needed to get better and then come back to fur, so to speak. So I finished this yesterday and put it up, and it's not extravagant, but it hasn't sold yet, which it's only been up for like, I don't know, 18 hours or so. But I'm hoping, this helps me grow my community, because I have a lot of people willing to buy. I'll come back to you guys. Let's see. Stop sharing. I have a lot of people willing to buy these $5 NFTs that I mint multiple copies of. Maybe the issue 1 is like 10, and then it goes down to 5. And I sell a lot of that stuff, but these, I sold one of my NFTs for $130. It was another full digital, my first full digital paint of a toucan, and it's okay. It lacks a little bit of depth, but it has some depth. And this is my second attempt at this type of thing, and I really pushed myself. So it is the best I can do right with my current skills. And they'll only get better, but I look at it and I go, damn, that's pretty darn good. It looks
pretty awesome.
Fairly realistic,
Yeah, very cool.
I think of some things later that I want to go and I want to do and tweak and make some, like, put some yellows on the tips of some of the fish and stuff like that and make it more dynamic. But I don't know. I was getting tired, and I was really liking what I was seeing, so I didn't slow myself down. Usually, what you should do is when you create something really, really that you're out to do your absolute best, you should, the day it's done, put it away for a day and then go back and go, how do I give this another pop, 10%? That's with anything. Comic books, a comic book page, a character that you've created. Always do that. Put it away for a whole full day and say, come back to it and go, what's it missing? What could I do? Because I do that to everything. I'm always tweaking before I send off anything, whether it's pages or whatever. So I'm never where they this is one of the issues that I had. I'm never where they think I am because I'm always doing stuff like that. And so I am ahead of where, like, they're always like, well, where are you? Show us what you've done. And we want to know what you've done the last 24 hours, whatever. There's always an editor to everything. So I'm always ahead, but I'm always behind to them because I have to play. I have to do things. When I'm coloring myself, that's a digital paint. And a lot of my NFTs, actually, all of my NFTs are colored by me except for one that I pulled from something else, out of a comic book. I pulled an NFT out of a comic book. I pulled a landmark that I drew in a comic. I pulled that out, and it's not colored by me. It's colored by Ishcam.
You mean like the background in one of your panels? That kind of thing? Because you were saying the landmark.
Actually, everything that was in the panel, because it was a landmark in Daytona. It's called Cruising Cafe. It's on Atlantic and something else. And I drew that with Floyd's van. Floyd from Florida, man. His van kind of going by. And it was an establishing shot to show where they were. And so I wanted to do something. Like, I was always thinking, like, what's the coolest way to show an establishing shot? And it's like landmarks, People know when you're driving by Epcot and they see Epcot over the ridgeline of the trees that are there, then it's just, you're giving them an idea. So I'm always doing things like that. So I did pull that out of the book and created an NFT out of it. And it's in the same collection with that polar bear. Now, the polar bear, like I said, best thing I ever did. I didn't put it away for a day and go back to it. You should always do that. That's another advice. But
that's true for like anything, like even business. Like, if you're doing something, if you're making a big business move, don't do it right now. Like, wait on it. Make sure you're not acting, emotionally. Sit back for it, let it digest. Because when you get some sleep on something, you definitely get some cool ideas.
I had ideas while I was doing it. They're like, okay, remember to do this. Like, there's a trick I use to give life to the eyes, and it's basically using a screen layer, that you can add a little bit of glow. So you get a little eye glow, and I use that when I create characters. And so just little tidbits of things that I've learned along the way that either I do or I learned them from somewhere else, and I picked them up. But I forgot. Like, I completely forgot to do a few little things that I wanted to do. I wanted to throw some really vibrant yellow, and I wanted to make my rays coming in from the sun in the water more yellow, so that everything it hit had a little bit of yellow. And that's dynamic, right? That's dynamic lighting. And that's the idea behind that. And I forgot and didn't do it. Whatever. Next time. But that is what I showed you, the best NFT that I've made so far.
By the way, what do you create it in?
Clip Studio. I have some new stuff that I'll be using. It's a NVIDIA Canvas. I want to do some of those, like, floating worlds, like Avatar.
Yeah.
and I think this can do that pretty easily. So I'm going to be making some more digital looking NFTs, but they're going to be unique to a certain style, because I've seen a lot of what they call digital NFTs, digital art, that is a mixture of taking elements from photographs and stuff like that. Like I even bought one that I thought was really cool. It's called Santa's Workshop, and it's this cool like library photo with other elements thrown on top of it, and it creates a really cool look. I liked it enough that I bought it, but it is a digital representation of a lot of other things, free assets or other people's photographs or whatever. And that's different. It's a different ball game, but it sells. Absolutely
Do you
sells.
Have you
get a physical item from the Santa's Workshop? Like, do you get on the nice list forever? Or?
That'd be great.
also have you ever played with like any 3D rendering stuff like Blender to make like any 3D models?
I have that stuff. Like I have the Create Suite, college edition, which I think puts a watermark on everything. But I have that whole thing, Maya, all of it, Autodesk stuff, and I've never fully mastered it. I did one. I had all the books. I bought a bunch of the books, and I did the very first ever, like the first thing that they teach you, like, you're going to do this, and it's a clown walking a tightrope where he actually ragdolls and falls. And I did it, but the frustration it took made me go, I don't know if I want to do this again.
You should find that old file, turn that into an NFT.
It's like, to me, anything that I've ever really, like, if you said, oh, Todd, what would you have loved to have done in your life, whether it be animation, whatever, it's really pre-concept stuff, It's always, everything to me always starts with a pencil. So if I wanted to work in animation, it'd be the I'm not sure what it's called, previs department, whether it's pre-character visualization or whatever. And it's the guy who starts with the pencil, and he draws the shapes that all of a sudden now they're Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
This was always where I wanted to be. I never wanted to be that guy that was, too technical, and now I'm finding, well, the world is moving along and you better catch up. So I'm learning, I think I want to play with like Maya, where you configure sculpts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I maybe start with DAZ, and you start with some pre-models and you build on top of them. So I might start there and then work my way to Maya, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm learning Blender.
Yeah, Blender's free.
Yeah. The first thing I ever did when I first got Blender, which was like a year ago, I made a donut, and from this Australian dude that's on YouTube, and then you just follow his tutorial, and it's a very long tutorial because it goes from like making the whole donut and then texturing it and doing all this fancy stuff and adding sprinkles. It's the one thing I wasn't able to do, but they just updated Blender to a point. It's now 3.0, which is crazy. You don't think that's probably a lot of updates, but it is. And now I'm doing the donut again, except this time I'm going to add sprinkles because there's this thing called geometry nodes, and that it's easier. So I'm getting to that point and doing that because I already have the icing. It looks like a Simpsons donut basically with the pink froth thing.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, when I was at like 2.8 or something, that dude was actually saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make an NFT of everybody's donut," and I could have done that, but I wasn't on my computer at the time when I was busy like moving and stuff, so I didn't have time to make another donut that actually had sprinkles and add it to that NFT, because then I would have owned part of that NFT. So that would have been cool. It would have been a bunch of people's donuts, and then it makes one giant donut. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But so my donut would have been a sprinkle on that donut, but still. Yeah.
I mean, for years I knew what SketchUp was and how to use it and stuff, and I just made my own sort of login yesterday because I want to be able to, because a lot of times I'm making the NFT, the subject in the NFT, and then I'm using backgrounds like a space background or whatever. I'll show you some more in a few minutes, but I'm using other assets, whether they be Hubble photographs or whatever, in the background.
That's very cool.
I want to be able to say, "Oh, this is all me."
Yeah, one of the reasons why I was curious about the 3D modeling as well is because I actually ended up just getting a 3D printer for one of my cousins, and because he got a new one, and this one's like a pretty old one now. But my idea is like if you're working on 3D modeling in art form, they could buy that digital piece of artwork. If they want to put it in their metaverse gallery, they can do that, or they can just show it off and show that they own it. Also, actually. Twitter just released a new feature where if you have an official NFT art, you can put it as your your profile icon, and it'll turn it into a hexagon instead of the normal circle. So like even that, like some of the social platforms will probably start adopting that. But if you have a 3D model of it, 3D printers now are getting cheaper and cheaper. You can literally print off a little 3D figurine and send that to them. And even though that might cost you like 10 cents worth of plastic, like the idea that you get something physical, like people love that. Like I've talked about that before, when you have like a VIP ticket to an event, or you're trying to make someone feel special when you send them comic books, like stickers. People love getting little free things, and getting a little plastic figurine based off your 3D model artwork would be incredible.
You're right, because when I hooked up with those guys in the beginning of Florida, man, I said these need to be event books. These aren't comic. We're not just selling a comic. We're not selling a comic book really at all. We're selling an event. And so you fill that box when the person gets that box, and they go, "Oh wow, there's a bookmark and stickers and whatever. It's all in there," and they feel like they were part of something more than just buying your comic. It's where what's his name went wrong. Sean Gordon Murphy. I just got plot holes. It's over here. I just got this book, and it took. I would say I ordered it. I don't know. I ordered it.
How thick is that? Damn.
It's 5 books. It's 5 issues.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I ordered that over a year and a half ago, and there was nothing in the box with it. Not a god darn thing.
Oh,
It's why I know he thought he was going to come out with something and use Indiegogo and sort of jump on the bandwagon of what was trending at the time. And he thought he was going to make $1 million, and his campaign, I think it made less than 200,000. But he also
only that.
he also
Yeah,
wasn't.
it's like, oh no. I get it. I do get it though.
We're
Yeah.
talking about one of the top. I mean, he's got $1 million contract to do Batman.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Like if he just added stickers, he could like literally that type of basic. It could have been incredible. Like it could have been like way more. Like that's the same thing. Greg and I, like we've run several crowdfunding campaigns, and we've seen we've researched other people that yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's one of the things.
Yeah, we've
Kickstarter.
Yeah, we've researched tons of other Kickstarters, and the ones that always raise a ton of money are the ones that give away the little stuff. Not like, oh, here's $1,000 statue I hand sculpted. No, it's like here's some stickers. Here's some like little buttons and pins, like those little things. People love that. Like especially if they're fans of your work, they're gonna want more than one memento. Like, what if I want to put this up in a display case? What am I gonna do? Put this one really thick comic that I was planning on kind of reading? Like you can't do anything with it. So yeah, I definitely. When you're going out there, same with the NFTs, like you need to go a little more, like whenever you're done and you're like, okay, I think I've done enough. Add one more little thing. Like stickers are 10 cents.
It took me. It has taken me a lot not to say anything. By the way, I mean because I'm familiar with who ran the campaign. I'm familiar with the artist, and I'm just gonna leave it alone because I don't think he'll ever do it again. I don't think he'll ever do a crowdfunder again. Because he certainly came out thinking, oh, I'm going to engage people. He had a little bit of something that went on at the very same time as Plot Holes launched. And he'd done a cover for a friend. And that person is what they call, comic skater, or was at the time, and yada yada yada. And so that heat went on to him, and they were trying to cancel Sean. Sean didn't deserve any of that. I'm friends with this guy. I've been friends with him for years. Doug Tenaple is a incredible artist. I mean, his stuff is different, but he's an incredible artist who's done scholastic books and graphic novels for kids and stuff like that that have sold in the millions. And of course, Earthworm Jim. So he did a cover for him, and when it got out there, he took nothing but heat from the other side. And that's not fair, because he was doing something for a friend.
Yeah.
The world is crazy, and we talked a little bit about that the last time I was here, but we're not going to talk about that. We're here to talk about basically to other artists out there. I kind of explained in the beginning what NFT is, but what it can do for you. It can be $100 a day hustle. I don't want to call hustle. Hustle is a bad word, because when I was in high school, we know what we called hustlers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Smacking stuff. That's what hustle. So a side hustle, but a profitable business venture where you create a brand. I've been creating a brand very slowly over time. Shopify, you name it. If you haven't seen the Meta NFTs logo, it's actually got the Metaforce logo and the Meta Merch logo that are all look the same and stuff like that. I've been doing this, and it's actually working, and it's a slow thing. Anything that you're doing by yourself, nothing will ever happen overnight for you. This is not that kind of a thing. And NFTs, you weren't the first. You're way behind the ball. So you're going to put out a lot of NFTs before one actually sells. Trust me, I have a lot out there. But I am only in like my 4th or 5th month in, and I'm doing pretty good. And the brand is starting to take hold. I think it's recognizable, I don't think they recognize me as it, but
they would see a couple pieces of art and go, I think this is the same artist at least, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think I haven't used anything. If I've done something where this is going to be a different style, which I have some things that are a different style, what I've done is I've concentrated on that for a while, so that look is established, but that look is in this collection. Like my rainbow, red-eyed tree frogs are in a certain collection, or but they're recognizable now, and that style is different than my comic book style or my illustration style, because what it really is just an outer line, and I'm painting everything else, and that's how you get that's the graduation from there to the polar bear, where the polar bear doesn't have an outer line. It doesn't, all the depth and all the roundness of that is all created by the illusion of coloring and stuff that you use. But the frogs and different things that I've made over time are different, but that's still stylistic. I think people go, oh, that's one of his frogs. Let's go through a little bit of tour of some of my stuff and see some of the collections that have sold the best and stuff like that.
And while you're pulling that up for other creators out there, I would say the other thing you need to do as well is make sure that you're actually like educating your fan base on like how to navigate this world. Like